Hi everyone, my name's Bella and I've decided to make this channel for anyone who has also experienced Graves' disease. Um, I found that there's a huge lack of awareness, not only in the UK but also in the States, all around the world. Often people look at you very confused, even yourself when you're diagnosed. What is this thing? I've never heard of it before. So today I'm just going to talk about, sorry about the planes, Stansted Airport. Basically, yeah, so I'm going to talk about my experience with it, and as you see, I'm shaking again today. So I thought it was about time I made this channel. So I was diagnosed last year, end of last year, in October. Doctors were very confused. I started going in with huge headaches, huge pressure behind my eyes, dizziness. My heart rate was coming out of my face. I was losing lots and lots of weight, but eating insane amounts and lots of rubbish, which was very fun, but not putting on the weight, which was great. But I started sweating profusely. I'd walk upstairs and feel like I was in the middle of the Amazon. And it was really unbearable, really. And also toilet visits, loads of them, and not always pleasant ones. So the weight was just falling off. So my heart rate was getting worse and worse. So the doctors took me and did a blood test, and it found out I had Graves' disease. So there's a difference between just having hypothyroidism, not just having hypothyroidism, but Graves' disease is also where your body produces antibodies to attack itself. So where you can see here I've got this lump, this is my thyroid. It's all swollen. I've got my goiter, snazzy. My body produces antibodies to attack it. So hypothyroidism is awful, and if you have it, I'm so sorry and I feel your pain, brothers and sisters. Hypothyroidism, basically the symptoms I just described. It's absolutely awful, and it completely changes your life. It's horrible. So I was put on thyroid blockers in October, and eventually over Christmas I got told that my thyroid was normal levels and that it had come down, and the beta blockers that I was put on was slowing my heart rate. But then on Christmas Eve I started having a huge panic attack, and I then started having panic attacks near enough every day. If not panic attacks, then anxiety attacks, sometimes twice a day. And I like to think I'm quite a chilled person, and I couldn't hack it. I became extremely anxious. I couldn't go outside. I couldn't do things. I'd be awkward around friends, social situations. Tiniest thing would panic me, like just seeing someone walk towards me, and there we go, I'd be having an attack. And it's horrible. You feel like you're going to die. Two differences between anxiety attacks and panic attacks. They seem quite similar in the way that you hyperventilate. Obviously you're worried, you're extremely panicky about something, but sometimes they can come on not necessarily caused by anything, and anxiety attacks are more breathless. Oh my god, what's going on in my life, I can't handle it. But panic attacks is where I find with me, I don't know about any of you guys, but mine started with my throat just going, don't breathe, and then your heart goes, oh my god, and I had pains down my arms, numbness, couldn't breathe in enough, not breathing out. I thought if I was to move position, I thought I would die or something terrible would happen, so I had to just sit there and just calm my breathing down. Often with the help of friends and family, they helped me through the whole thing. My boyfriend was amazing, taught me through the whole thing, and it's about counting. I found counting really, really helpful. If you can have someone with you when you have a panic attack, it's absolutely priceless. So that really helped. So I was confused why I was having these panic attacks and anxiety attacks at Christmas when my thyroid was normal or in remission. And then they put me on more beta blockers and more anxiety tablets. I was on citalopram, suffering from a bit of depression with it as well. And then I ended up being taken to A&E one day because they thought I might have had a stroke or I had a bleeding on the brain. My speech was completely blurred, I basically looked like I'd had 2 bottles of wine. I felt amazing. But I was aware that there were people around me. I didn't really know what was going on. My speech was a bit slurred. And it turned out that my thyroid had completely plummeted. So I was hypothyroid from all the anti-thyroid blockers. And so after all that scariness, they actually thought I had a brain tumour. So I went through scans of my spine where I've had previous injuries and in my brain to see if there's anything in there. And actually it turned out there was nothing going on. So eventually all was concluded that it was just hypothyroidism, which is also bloody awful. If anyone out there has hypothyroidism, often they come hand in hand with medicines trying to balance out hyper and hypo. But either way, it's just horrible. It affects everything. Your immune system, it goes into complete overdrive or lack of, and you just cannot function like a normal human being. Pace is affected. The whole pace of life is affected in terms of emotions, neurological effects, functions, everything, absolutely everything is affected, and it's absolutely awful. So then after that, they told me to stop taking everything. So I stopped taking carbamazole, which was my thyroid blocker, and beta blockers. So I was on propranolol, maximum doses. So I cut those completely because they said, hang on, your thyroid's way too low then, so let's stop that. So it's been a while now. That was in January, and now it's April. Between January and now, I've gained a hell of a lot of weight, and my hair was falling out, so I cut it short. I lost my eyebrows, so I'm drawing them on. I'm really bad at it, so I apologise for terrible makeup skills. So hair's been falling out, eyebrows non-existent, gained an insane amount of weight. At one point I gained 6 kilos in about 2 weeks, which is just ugh. So I've tried eating healthily, I've tried exercising, but at the moment I'm extremely tired. And it's not because I'm still hypo, it's because I now have a vitamin D deficiency. So I don't know if there's a link between the two, if any of you have also had B12 or vitamin D deficiencies, because they make you feel really tired and it can be confused with hypothyroidism. But it turns out mine is a vitamin D deficiency, hence sitting in the sun. Soak it up. Yeah, so it's pretty hard to exercise and lose the weight when you're feeling absolutely shattered, even moving. I've just come back from going around our local town, and my heart rate resting is 120 beats per minute, but I feel absolutely exhausted. I can't walk up steps. My thighs feel absolutely exhausted. All my muscles feel like they're aching. It's like I'm carrying mountains up a hill. Oh, a bloody mountain. Ugh, it's really, really exhausting. But as of today, these tremors have come back, so I don't know if you can see my hands. So this stopped when I was underactive, so I've got a feeling I'm going hyper again. I've lost quite a lot of weight in the last couple of weeks. I've tried eating healthily and exercising. Did have some Ben & Jerry's the other day though. But I am trying, and it does seem to be coming off quite quickly. So I'm getting a feeling, because of this, that it might be hypothyroid again. So it's up and down all the time. I'll keep you updated with any progress. I've got an appointment with my endocrinologist on Tuesday, and make sure when you go to your endocrinologist, write down any questions, no matter how stupid you think they are. They're not stupid. You just have to, because at the end of the day, you have to get out of this what you can from the person who knows about it. And if they seem to be very unhelpful, quite brief. I mean, my diagnosis was literally, it lasted 10 minutes, the appointment. He checked my epidermal myxedema that I've had on my leg, like lumpy, rashy stuff. It looks horrible. I've had it since I was 10. Didn't know what it was. he looked at that, checked my clammy hands, looked at my head doing this, checked my hands, checked my heart rate, asked me about things, looked at my eyes, said they were unusually large, but they always have been, a bit of a freak. And yeah, that was it. I was diagnosed. So I walked out of the hospital and I figured, hey, okay, so what is Graves' disease? And it was looking here online and seeing some amazing people who'd put forward their experiences and sorry, my candle's going mad. Put forward their experiences and so openly, and it's really, really inspiring. And I thought from that moment, you know, God, if I was to go through anything they've gone through, I hope I'd do the same and share. So here we are, and it's been a long journey. I've decided a couple of weeks ago to quit my job, which I loved, which was in London. Get a bit emotional talking about it. It was working with special needs children in a school in London, who I absolutely adore. So if any of you are watching this, I love you all, and I'm sorry. But I couldn't hack the 5 a.m. get up. Coming back at 8 p.m. I just couldn't get up in the morning, and I felt like I'd failed them. And it's really, really hard to cope with feelings of guilt as well, because you feel that it's your fault, all of this. And when you're going through such an emotional change, and it can even change your personality, this disease, it can really affect everything. I mean, my neurological system went into overdrive. I was being sick 3 times a day. That was back when they thought I had a brain tumour, and anxiety is crippling, absolutely crippling. And the biggest help I had with choosing to quit my job was actually seeing a counsellor. And there is such a taboo about it, and I know in England it's a huge taboo. And mental health is just the utmost important thing that we really need to focus on in this country. And I think everywhere. You can feel isolated, completely alone. You know, suicide rates are completely through the roof, especially in young males, or you know, it's just so horrible to feel so alone. And the more we talk about it, the more we share. That's why it's important. And for me, going to see a counsellor was one of the best decisions I ever made after this diagnosis, because I think even if you think yourself a healthy person, but you just have troubles on your mind that seem to be lingering a long time, it's important just to, I think you need to know you need to go. But when you do, you realise actually that people do listen. I know it's their job, but just getting that external point of view can really, really put things into context for you. When you think the world is against you, it's just learning to take that step back and realise that, you know, you're not alone. Which is why I wanted to make this as well. Sorry, my ear is like bright yellow. It's not normally like this. The vitamin D is working. Woo. Yeah, and I think company is really important. I love my dog. She's a Bernese Mountain Dog. She's huge, and she kept me positive. And my amazing boyfriend, my lovely family, my extremely amazing friends. I love you, and to everyone who's been online and put themselves out there. You're an inspiration. You really are, and it's so important just to communicate. We all need to communicate. So seeing my counsellor really helped me decide to quit my job, and an amazing Graves Facebook group called Graves, everything things everyone should know about, run by Gina. She's amazing. Hey Gina. And the support is just unbelievable. You can put up a question about anything, even just talk about how horrible your poos were today, and everyone's just there supporting you. So it's pretty amazing, really. So thank you, Gina, and thank you everyone for that. Yeah, so after quitting my job, I'm now back at home, in a lovely home, with my parents, and I am penniless. I can now not have the dream career I wanted of teaching. I wanted to go into art therapy. I hope one day in the future I can, but the hardest thing, I think, with this disease was accepting that it is long-term and it can be lifelong. I heard people say, it isn't lifelong, or it's there for the rest of your life, it's completely forever. But I think it differs person to person. I think you've got to make the decisions now for you now, and there was no way I could get up and do that commute, and despite how much I love everyone at that job and I wish you all the best of luck, the fantastic team at St Marylebone, I love you all, but now I'm trying to do my own work as a freelance illustrator. So my dream has been to literally just work from a studio somewhere and just paint and draw and use my tablet and geek out and get money for it. So it's going to be extremely hard. I'm not ignoring that. But I'm also a freelance harpist for weddings, and that is knackering, but it's good money for, one day here, one day there, so that's lucky. If you do have anything you can do from home, it's just having the courage to know when something's not right, and also the courage, it is courage, to know that it's not your fault, is huge. Absolutely huge, and it's really hard, but it's not your fault, so just keep at it. Sorry about all the tears. Yeah, it's really not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Robin Williams moment. I love you, Robin. I'm blabbering a bit now, but I just wanted to say that bit because I think it's really important, and I think the emotional sides of this disease are overlooked as, oh, we'll give you this anxiety tablet, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, but it is life-changing, and in and out of hospital all your life with eye operations, thyroid operations, blood tests, feeling awkward in social situations, just completely not feeling yourself, possibly ruining relationships. It's really tested my relationship with my family, friends, and not my friends, but family and my boyfriend. It's hard to live with someone with Graves and with a mental health condition. It's hard to accept that you can't fix it, and I think it's also crippling for family as well, when you think, why can't I help? Why can't I do this? Can't I do that? And bless her, my mum constantly Googling things on Graves' disease and thinking she's come up with a solution, but there isn't a one solution for everything, and everyone is different. So take your time. I think just take time out for yourself and really just pause and think, okay, what is going on? How am I feeling today? And to work, I think one of the most prominent things that my counsellor said to me was actually to work with your disease, not fight against it. I fought against it for a few months going to work, and I was like, I'm not going to let this cripple me, I'm not. Like when I had my spine injury, I couldn't walk, but I carried on with my uni degree, and that mental frame of mind, I thought, I'm a strong person, I can do this, but I got up walking again, absolutely fine by the way, but it is stupid to try and be brave, because brave isn't the word. I think brave is actually for when you stop and you say, no, what, do you know, actually, I'm gonna listen to the person inside, and this isn't right. You need to work with yourself, not fight against yourself, because that's just the eternal turmoil that will never end, and you'll never feel better for it. And support is vital. So if anyone watching this is watching it for a friend, definitely support is vital. End of. So yeah, so after all of that, basically just anyone out there, please message me with any questions, anything, or any advice. If you've got any tips or tricks on Graves or thyroid problems, but keep talking, keep communicating, don't suffer in silence. It never never helps you, because there's nowhere for the badness to be pooed out. And you know, having a support network is really, really important. But basically, thank you for watching my blabbering video. For any friends watching this, sorry for the emotion, but I hope it helps you understand some things. And just everyone, I hope this helped in some way. I'll keep up to date with you with other bits and bobs, but until then, best of luck. You are not alone, and keep your chin up and stay true to yourself. I think it's the biggest thing. But graves awareness. So take care from me and my yellow ear. Look after yourself. Till next time. Thank you. Bye.